Okay, so today we are going to be doing a tutorial on Pixlr art editor, which is similar to other photo editing softwares such as Photoshop, but what's cool about this one is you don't have to download it, you just search it up on Google. So what you want to do whenever you get to the website is go to open image from computer if you have already downloaded one, or open one from URL. So you select open image, go to downloads, select your photo, and then hit or drag it so it takes up more of the screen. So there are many different things you can do with this software. First, you can crop the picture to select only what you want to edit. So you just click and drag what you want to have selected. And then once you've done that, you can change it some more by dragging the blue boxes to select more or less of the area. And then once you're done, you can click outside the box, select yes, and now you only have the parts that you want. You also have the marquee tool, which lets you select certain areas. You can do it in a square shape or a circle shape. And once you're done selecting something, you can press Ctrl D to unselect it. The lasso tool is similar to the marquee tool, but you can get like more detailed with it because you just draw with it with your mouse. Once you have selected stuff, whatever you do will only affect that area, and that's where the move tool comes in. You can use the move tool to drag the selected area around. So if you wanted to get rid of that car, you could just drag it out. Or you could just delete it by hitting Ctrl X, and then it's gone. You also have the wand tool, which is another tool that lets you select a certain area. But how you do it is you select Shift, and then you click, and then whatever area you clicked becomes selected. And then you can just keep on clicking more area to select more. And then once you're done, you can hit Ctrl D. So now you have the more drawing tools. First, you have the pencil, which is not one of the very useful tools. But I guess if you're trying to draw something on the computer, it could be helpful. And if you want to undo something, you just press Ctrl D, and then whatever you did recently goes away. You also have the brush tool, which is similar to the pencil tool, only it's more defined. You can also use these to make it look different, such as hard tip, which makes it even more defined and less blurry on the outside. You can use this to change the color of a selected item. So if you select something and then color it, only the thing you selected will change colors. Now you also have the erase tool, and the erase tool erases anything you place over it, so it's just a blank screen. You want to be careful with this to only erase what you want, which is another reason you should use the select tool. The paint bucket tool colors everything you selected in a specific color, which you can change down here. So if you wanted to make the sky a little bit more blue, then you can just select the blue color, hit paint bucket, click your selected area, and now the sky is a lot more blue. And if you want to undo it again, you can just hit Ctrl D a couple times and it goes back to normal. You also have the gradient tool, which is good if you're trying to make like a flyer or just make something pop out. So you select gradient. You can choose different styles from up here, and then you just drag your mouse as far as you want it to divide. So if you only want like it to split a little bit, you just drag it a little bit and a small split. But if you want it to look more natural, then you drag it all the way across, and then the color is spread out more. You can also do it downwards if you want it to be moving downwards. such as if you want to do a sunset or something like that. You can also do the clone stamp tool, which is like, let's say you want to add some more trees. You hold Control, select the area you want to copy, and then drag your mouse, and you can add some more trees. So, like, add some tree right there. With this tool, you have to be very careful to not make it look like it's an exact copy. It's good for filling in areas, like maybe here you can make it look less like there's a blank spot, and more like it's just trees beside the road. The color replace tool is also very helpful, so you can select any color from the color wheel. Select what you pick a specific color on the thing by just clicking it and then dragging it, and then it'll color everything that the color you selected and change it into the color you picked on the color wheel. So you can make all the trees green if you wanted it to, or you can make all the trees yellow if you wanted it to look more like fall. You can also use the drawing tool, which just allows you to make different shapes and such in the sky or anywhere. But you have to be careful to change the color up here and not just down in the color wheel, so it doesn't just make a black dot. Never mind. Now these are more of the photo editing tools, while the others were more of a drawing tool. So first you have blur, so you can make certain areas less sharp and more out of focus. So for this one, I'm going to do it to the background so that the caribou stand out a little bit more. And the more you click, like the more times you click on it, the more blurry it gets, and then you can just drag it along to cover more area. You also have the sharpen tool, which does the opposite. So if you want to make the caribou look more vibrant, then you can just draw over it a little bit, and it looks a little bit more vibrant without being too obvious. You can also adjust the strength of these tools using the bar up here. So you can turn it to like 19 if you want to only do it a little bit, and then 100 if you want to make it a little bit more noticeable. You also have the smudge tool, You also have the smudge tool, which is a little bit harder to use than some of the other tools because it's very easy to mess up a picture. Like, let's say you erase something that you didn't want, like a smear on the camera lens. You can then use the smudge tool. You might want to lower the strength on it before you use it, but you can use the smudge tool to kind of like help cover in that area. But for that, I would suggest using the clone stamp tool because it makes it look a lot more natural. And sometimes you have to hit Control D multiple times to get something to go away. And if you've done too many things before it, you can't make it go away. So I'll just use the clone tool stamp here to make it look more like they're not the dot. You also have the sponge tool, which can make things a little bit more colorful and vibrant in a specific area or across the whole board. This one also has a strength meter, but you don't want to turn it up too high because then it looks very obviously edited and not very good. You also have, for most of these tools, you also have the brush tool, so you can select how much area you want to select and color in, so you can make it look a lot more vibrant. And if you want to undo the sponge tool, you just hit Control D like all the other ones, and then makes it go away. You also have the dodge tool, which instead of making things more vibrant, it just makes them a little bit lighter. And that can be good if you want to like make something look less dark. Like if you have a nighttime picture, you can make it look lighter. You also have the burn tool, which does something very similar to the sponge tool, but instead of making it brighter and more colorful, it makes it a little bit darker. And if you're done with it, you can hit Control V again and make it go away. The red eye tool, you would not use it for an image like this, but if you have a picture of a person, you can just click where the red eye effect is because of the camera, and then it will go away. You also have the spot heal tool, which is kind of like the clone stamp tool. So let's say like you erase this tree stump because you don't like it, and then you can hit the spot heal tool, just kind of drag it along the area. You want to be very careful with this part so it turns out okay. And then just color it in. Yep, this part might take a little bit. So again, I would suggest just using the clone stamp tool. The clone stamp tool is probably the most useful tool on here. You also have, these tools are not as useful as some of the other ones, but you also have the expand tool, so you can make something really big, or you can use the shrink tool to make something really small. And with these, you also have the strength bar, so you can make something even bigger or even smaller. And these tools are not as commonly used as some of the other ones, but they can still be useful for certain situations. This tool, the color picker tool, is good if you want to copy a certain area. So let's say you want to make more of the sky this specific color. You just click on that color, then you can use the brush tool, and now you can paint in that color across the sky. Another tool is the text tool, and that just lets you type on the page however you want. You can pick which color you use with the color wheel, and the font and size. With the size, you have to be careful because it goes up quite dramatically. So a good just average size would be about like a 35 maybe. A 35 would be like a good average size. But if you want to make something really pop out, you do like near 100. You can also type to make it easier to select. And then they don't have too many different styles, but they just have regular, bold, italic. And then your last tool is the zoom tool with the last tool you have is a zoom tool, which lets you zoom in, and if you press shift, zoom out of certain areas, and that allows you to get more close to whatever specific area you are editing. And that is pretty much it with Pixlr editor.